Tonight, the Heartless Thieves targeting charity donation bins, the message from Fed Up volunteers. And the Christmas bonanza for a group of local businesses, how teaming up has boosted trade.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with Alex Sykes begins now.
Good evening. The efforts of local charity shop workers are being spoiled by heartless thieves. Volunteers at Port Lincoln say they're fed up and frustrated as their donation bins are being targeted in a string of break-ins, but they're offering an olive branch to the thieves.
Clothes and toys strewn across the floor. Heartless thieves targeting donation bins at a local charity shop. What they don't take for themselves, they leave lying on the ground for volunteers to clean up.
They've smashed padlocks and bin lids and taken bars off the back, and we've made huge efforts to be able to secure it, but nonetheless it still keeps happening.
Volunteers at Unity Hill Op Shop say they've always had issues with people breaking in, but say it's escalated in the past month.
Obviously people are either struggling financially or they're out to resell. I really don't know.
Volunteers say they're not the only ones being targeted, with other charities and businesses in the area also being broken into. They say it's happening at all hours of the day. One volunteer says he caught them red-handed just this week.
Bikes rode in about 5:45. It was a bit dark to get an idea of who they could be. About half an hour later, another guy rode in and rode around, saw my ute and drove out.
The shop has now been forced to install extra locks and security, money that would have otherwise been spent on helping the vulnerable.
We've got quite a heavy industrial lock on there at the moment, which has been absolutely battered, and we've had extra precautions put on the bin, but it seems to make no difference.
Frustrated volunteers are now pleading with the thieves to stop.
If you are needing clothes, come into us. We will help you. What we do here goes back into the community and the wider world for people who are in need.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A 27-year-old Port Lincoln woman is in a stable condition after her car ploughed into a tree just after 7:30 this morning. The grey Holden was travelling along Western Approach Road on the outskirts of Port Lincoln. Emergency services quickly arrived on the scene with morning traffic slowed in the area. The woman was the sole occupant in the vehicle and was taken to Port Lincoln Hospital with minor injuries. The vehicle suffered extensive damage. Police are now investigating the incident. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact Crime Stoppers. A program is helping to tackle Port Pirie's unemployment rate, launching job seekers into the market with special skills. 16 people have graduated from the Heavy Industry and Trades program, with some already landing a job.
These graduates have a lot to celebrate, officially upskilled in different sectors of the heavy trades industry.
Carpentry, metal fabrication and electrical side of things as well, so a bit of everything, so it's a well-rounded course overall.
This program, in conjunction with local employers, TAFE SA and the government, works to qualify trade workers to fill in a regional employment gap.
And people transitioning here who were not working and were not in the workplace into skills and apprenticeships, which is an incredible return.
This 20-week program offers students the opportunity to network with future employers.
Rural treat to watch the kids grow. They're not kids out of school, they're almost mature age job seekers, if you like, so some skills are already in place and some skills that need to be worked on, and to watch them grow over 20 weeks has been terrific.
Something that we've not had in the region before, and the employers have been very excited about the people that we're producing that can help them meet the needs of their workforce.
The program inspiring future careers.
To be a diesel mechanic or a light vehicle mechanic. Hopefully trying to get up into the mines later on.
Well, it's given me a job out of it, so because I work at McMahon's now, so it's definitely a foot in the door for anyone that's trying to get into the working industry.
The course will be recommencing next year and applications are now open to those interested.
Better prepared then to go into the right job in the right way, and it really has helped with our employers being able to get first sight of people and see them in the training.
More information can be found online. Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
It's a crucial time of the year for retailers in the lead up to Christmas, but a group of local business owners have taken matters into their own hands. Broken Hill Shops teamed up to run a Black Friday sales event to lure shoppers into local stores instead of going online. It's being touted as an overwhelming success.
A Broken Hill sales bonanza unlike any other.
Everyone I've spoken to had a great day. Arden Street was alive and the surrounding streets, we had music, the Christmas vibe was back. It put everyone in great moods.
Last week's Black Friday event saw dozens of local businesses offer a wide variety of sales on their stock. The idea coming from shop owner Rosie Seamer, wanting shoppers that might be tempted to go online instead come through local stores.
I think it put a bit of faith back into business in Broken Hill from the business owner's point of view. People actually came out, made an effort to come into shops they'd never been into and actually saw what we have.
Sales across the holiday season can be vital for a business heading into 2020. Peter Nash from Samson Shoes encouraging locals to keep their spending in the city as much as they can.
Because most stores in the CBD are probably sitting on record stock levels, and if you don't clear it between now and 25th of December, you've got a real problem going into the new year. So retail's tough.
Rosie hopes the success of Black Friday will lead to more retail events in the future, saying it's great to see local businesses working together to support the city and its economy.
We're already talking having Santa Claus in the street next week and late night shopping possibly 2 nights between now and Christmas. So stay tuned for that.
Peter says it's great to see those who live local shop local.
We have lots of artistic, clever people that are setting up small businesses, and they helping complement the stores that are here 52 weeks a year.
Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
And as Christmas festivities take over, there are closures tomorrow for Port Augusta's annual pageant and street party. The streets will be a busy place, resulting in road closures about town. Restrictions will be in place from 4:30 tomorrow afternoon until 9:30 p.m. Beauchamp Lane will be shut to traffic from 7:30 a.m. tomorrow until 12 a.m. on Saturday. The full details on closures can be found on the Port Augusta City Council's Facebook page. Still to come tonight, a potentially life-saving medical check, the advice from local doctors, and the fundraiser Turning a Town Pink, the personal mission for a group of women helping to boost cancer services. Welcome back. Communities across the region are encouraged to apply for the Small Farms Small Grant Scheme, with applications now open. The grant aims to develop a more sustainable agricultural future. Businesses involved in farming, fishing and forestry can apply for up to $50,000 in funding to help with upcoming projects. More information can be found online. Car dealerships are going beyond the usual car checks, teaming up with the Heart Foundation to look at people's health. The program coming to Whyalla providing free heart checks.
A simple test that can save your life. The Community Hearts Project touring the Spencer Gulf, undertaking free heart checks for locals.
We've been doing a blood pressure measurement, so that's just the blood pressure cuff on the arm, and a finger prick cholesterol test. And in 6 minutes we get the cholesterol result.
The team spent the last 2 days in Whyalla promoting the leading risk factors for heart disease and how it can easily be prevented.
We are trying to motivate Australians to go to their GP to get the heart health check. So heart disease is the single biggest killer of Australians, and we know that it is preventable most of the time.
The project travelled to all regional Toyota dealerships across South Australia, benefiting many with their analysis. Local authorities urging people to get checked if they haven't already.
Please look after yourself. Nobody else will. Look after your heart. Go to the doctor. If you haven't had your blood pressure taken for so many years, go there now.
We do know that where you live has just as much impact on your heart health as how we live. And so in those, and we know that people in regional and rural communities are facing much larger, access to health or accessibility.
To help identify cardiovascular disease, a heart health check is covered by Medicare for people aged 45 years or over and for Aboriginal people from the age of 30.
I now have to make sure my blood pressure stays in check every day of my life. You need to get out there as well, and that's the message of this campaign.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A project to turn a town pink has raised more than $10,000 for the McGrath Foundation. Port Pirie residents digging deep to help fundraise for vital cancer support services.
Loud and proud, pretty and pink. Port Pirie has been inundated with breast cancer fundraisers thanks to these organisers who are already planning next year's events.
The Pink Up Port Pirie is an annual event, so we do plan to have another Pink Up Port Pirie into 2020, and the minds of the committee are already ticking over about what we'll be doing.
This year they've raised more than $10,000, the funds donated to cancer support services.
So the money goes towards the McGrath Foundation. The McGrath Foundation raises money to educate and place breast care nurses right across Australia.
These committee members each sharing their hardships of cancer and say awareness should be raised every day, not just through the fundraisers.
The girls help me cope with everyday living with breast cancer, help me a lot with the fact that I actually do have lymphedema.
The funds are in demand with 135 breast care nurses placed across Australia, with many of them in regional areas like Port Pirie and Whyalla.
The idea is that it doesn't matter where you are, you have access to a breast care nurse for free.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The next instalment of the Perfect Light Film Festival is still months away, but that hasn't stopped Broken Hill's filmmakers creating ideas. Organisers of the event say the holiday period is a great chance to get out with the camera and start filming.
Get an idea, go out and bring it to life.
If you feel inspired to make films, go for it. Find whatever camera you can and get amongst it. And if it's not what you think, then don't show anyone and make another one.
The Perfect Light Film Festival was held in Broken Hill in November. More than a dozen short films being shown in Sturt Park in front of a big crowd.
As an audience member, it was just such a great night, great crowd, great atmosphere and some really interesting films.
While the 2020 edition is still almost a year away, Silver City filmmakers have started to think about entries for the competition, encouraging locals who may be interested in trying their hand at movie making to experiment over the Christmas break.
Just go for it. And the best thing about telling stories and making films is that no one can tell your story the same way that you can. Thinking about making a film isn't going to help you to get better at making a film. The only thing that's going to help you is actually making one.
The maximum runtime for an entry in the Perfect Light is 8 minutes, but organisers say that's just a guide for filmmakers to work to.
We've had finalists before that have been 1 minute long films. If you can tell a story in a minute, why take 3 minutes to tell it or 8 minutes to tell it? If you can tell a story in a shorter period, then you're free to do that.
Jason says starting a project can be as simple as picking up a phone.
If you get something and you think it's really good and you want to show people, we can always enter other festivals as well or post it online and do other things and show it at the Perfect Light Festival too.
Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. We take a festive turn, including the Christmas Tree Festival at Port Augusta and the place to get your seasonal treats. Welcome back. The Port Augusta Christmas Tree Festival has opened its doors today, the beginning of the 4-day event. The tree display showing off the town's creativity with trees from different organisations and schools on show.
The Christmas spirit has arrived at the Institute Theatre in Port Augusta today.
We're the first thing on the Port Augusta and Christmas calendar.
The Christmas Tree Festival filled with trees of all sorts.
What makes it all so unique and different is that there's no right or wrong answer. It's everyone's beautiful ideas.
A gold coin donation required, with all proceeds going to the Port Augusta Special School.
Really important for them because it's money they don't have to do anything for, and it's cash that they can buy something special with.
Last year's event raising $800. The event highlighting the way the community comes together.
It's a way of bringing different members of the community together where normally they wouldn't have contact. So we have like sporting bodies and service clubs, craft groups, schools.
A first-time visitor taking in all the festive excitement.
It's all about that Christmas, joyous spirit and they have some really good, nice displays.
Drop in, even if you can only come in for 5 or 10 minutes, it's worth a look.
The festival will be open until Sunday. Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
And the festive season has well and truly arrived in the Eyre Peninsula this week, with Cummins hosting its annual Christmas markets. Months of preparation and cooking going into the time-honoured event.
Whether you're after something sweet or maybe a handmade decoration, there was plenty on offer at the Cummins Christmas market. Santa's helpers hard at work preparing the Great Hall for the time-honoured event.
A variety of cakes, sausage rolls, puddings, slices, Christmas slices.
Shoppers from across the region travelling to Cummins, affectionately dubbed the Christmas capital of the Eyre Peninsula, and it's easy to see why, with the town's Christmas wonderland opening its doors to the young and young at heart.
It's developed into an annual event, and we've realised how important it is for the community as an enjoyment event, and also financial support for our town as well.
Whether you're delivering a letter to Santa or getting a chance to sit in the big man's chair, there's something to see and do around every corner. But it wouldn't be possible without months of preparation from volunteers.
It takes us nearly 3 weeks to build and bring our things into this hall, but most of us are working all year to do the work at home to make the things that we bring in.
While others have been slaving away in the kitchen to make that perfect Christmas treat that would please any sweet tooth.
It's a full year's work, picking the fruit, freezing it, then making it into the products.
But you'll have to be quick before they run out.
When these are gone, you've missed out.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break, reviving up a toy donation drive, and we'll have the weather details with Britt. Welcome back. It's in its 36th year. The annual Port Augusta Toy Run is getting ready to ride through town this Saturday. Motorbikes will be outing the streets, rallying for toy donations to the Salvation Army.
For more than 3 decades, motorcycles have been revving through Port Augusta's streets for a good cause. The idea sparked to help those in need in the regions, with toys being sought for donation for the Salvation Army.
Well, why should we ride to Adelaide and give all our stuff to people down there when we've got kids in need up here?
Held by Saltbush Motorcycle Club President Stephen Leister, he says the event has been a huge hit in the city.
Which has turned into, about, I'd say, the biggest non-metropolitan toy run in Australia.
Bringing together motorcycle enthusiasts in the name of fundraising.
The main reason we ride around is just to show people who are out there that we are doing this for the community and to let them know what the event's about.
With room for many riders to join, no matter their choice of wheels.
Anyone on a motorbike, from a Honda Step Through to a Motor Guzzi to the big thumping great Harleys.
Encouraging others to join in what is a special day for the whole community.
Come on out, it's a lovely day. It looks like it'll be a lovely day, so yeah, come out, and if it's your first time, you'll enjoy it. And if it's your 36th, well done.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Now let's hear from the experts with this week's Fish and Tips.
It's interesting at the moment, we're looking at water temperatures and it's around 16 degrees. So based on that, one of my fishing buddies was telling me that we might see whiting up to Christmas time. So if you've got those places that we've been talking to you about, a little bit further out, deeper water, have a try. You might still get your good feed of King George whiting. Crabs are starting to get filled with egg, so be careful of that. Don't take any female crabs and just watch that they're not too soft at this particular time. But we've got those yellowfin whiting as the weekend heats up. We'll get yellowfin whiting starting to come back into the shallows. Make the most of them while you've got them. I'll see you next week.
G'day, welcome to this week's Fishing Tips in Port Lincoln. Starting up around Tumby Bay, there's been some squid, snook and garfish getting caught off the town jetty. The whiting catches have been better out at the group when you can get out there. Moving down to Port Lincoln, there's been some good whiting around the North Shore and a few down at the Proper Bay. Better catches have been coming down from Thistle Island and Black Rock area though. There's also been a few squid around with some snook and garfish as well. Moving down to the south coast, the salmon has still been going really well down there. Up towards the Wanna end has probably been a little bit better. The gutters are better and close. That's about it for this week. We'll see you again next week.
G'day and welcome to this week's Fishing Tips from Port Augusta, Jewel North.
All the standard species, silver whiting, out in those middle banks at low tide, and also the big high tides in the morning, try that. Crabs around at the moment, really big and full of meat at the minute. There are a few she-backs around as well, so if you can, try and let those go for the breeders. There are some kingfish around at the moment. Not real big ones, but right up here in the harbour as well. Over on the wharf behind me, they've been getting some nice little kingfish over there as well, and good tasting size as well. There are some big flatter getting caught around, as well as some snook on the troll as well. That's all we have from the Jewel of the North.
And time to take a look at what's happening in weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, Alex. It's been a mostly sunny day about the region. 35 the top at Broken Hill, Port Augusta 32, Port Pirie 28, Whyalla 26, Adelaide 23, Port Lincoln 21. From the satellite, low cloud about the south of the Spencer Gulf today, with remaining skies fairly clear under high pressure. Moving on to tomorrow, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southwesterly winds tending southeasterly at 15 to 20 knots, with seas at 1.5 metres. We'll see sunrise just after 6 a.m. And mostly sunny conditions through the day. Woodna with an expected top of 31 degrees, Corn 30, Port Augusta and Broken Hill both 29, a top of 27 at Port Pirie, Whyalla, Clare and Kadina all 25, Cleve 24, Adelaide 23 degrees, Coffin Bay 21, Port Lincoln 18. Looking ahead to the weekend now with consistently partly cloudy conditions on the radar for Port Lincoln, a top of 20 degrees on Saturday, jumping up to 30 on Sunday. Cleve also looking partly cloudy over the coming days, 28 the top on Saturday, Sunday 41. Woodna 36 degrees on Saturday, 43 on Sunday. Partly cloudy days ahead at Whyalla, Saturday 28 degrees, Sunday 39. Port Augusta with a sunny top of 34 on Saturday, 42 and partly cloudy on Sunday. Kadina sunny and 28 on Saturday, fine and 37 on Sunday. A sunny Saturday at Port Pirie with a top of 31, fine and 38 on Sunday. Clare sunny and 29 on Saturday, Sunday 37. And finally to Broken Hill where it's looking sunny across the weekend, 30 the top on Saturday, Sunday 35. And Alex, that's it from me.
Thanks for that, Britt. And that's the local news this Thursday evening. Thank you for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.